Hi, this is the Lourdes and Chris Show.
This gorgeous, brilliant, breathtaking vision of well, Christmassy goodness right here, right? New Year's goodness is my beautiful wife, Lourdes. Honestly, the every year when I count my blessings and what I'm grateful for, she's at the top of the list each and every time because she is that amazing and she has blessed my life as such. My best friend, the smartest person you're ever going to know in your entire life, and I'm more excited than a guy doing a countdown in Times Square.
I would be freezing in that guy counting down on a Times Square. That being said, this is my husband, who I dearly love, and I mean I dearly love. I am so blessed to have you as my husband, as my best friend, as my partner in every part of my life. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being who you are and for being part of me. Because really, I was like, we are one. Honestly, this is such a great time. I love this time of the year because it makes you really rethink things. What has gone through the year? What have you accomplished? What you plan to accomplish? And that's why I don't know. We have somebody tonight that's really going to take care of those things.
Yeah, I'm more excited than a guy doing a countdown in Times Square because of the guests that we have on tonight. But the thing about that Times Square thing, this is true. This is what happened. Now, maybe 5 years ago now, we're doing that countdown, the Rockin' New Year. And we got to a point where we're like, well, who's that guy?
That's so true. We're like these singers and these rappers, we didn't know who they were. I'm like, oh,
yeah, so and so Billy Bob, and we're like, who's Billy Bob? I don't know.
They know
this guy. Yeah, right.
They were seeing everybody up there singing with them.
The crowd is singing with them, and that's when we knew we've lost touch. Yeah,
we're done.
Yeah, we're not with the hip kids now when it comes to the current music.
Yeah. So we build our bridge and we moved on.
Yeah. So now we just celebrate New Year's with a countdown still every year, but the music that we like.
Yes, that we enjoy, that we grew up with, and that, even the stuff that we hear now.
Yeah, so at this point, Christmas hasn't happened yet, so Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
This evening, we've got Dr. Grant on for part one of two parts. So part one is just discussing how to end the year in such a powerful way to build yourself up and ready for the next year. And that's why we love Dr. Grant.
Oh my gosh. And that's why we have him on. So with no further ado.
Yeah, no sense on beating around. Well, actually, I do want to tell people to go to lourdesandchrisshow.com and sign up there. And
yes, to go on lourdesandchrisshow.com, subscribe, and you can email us, you can reach out to us, and also there's so much information there. You also see the past episodes along with the things that we actually use, all these different products that we strongly use, and in fact what our daily routine is.
Absolutely.
So go there and check it out.
Go to lourdesandchrisshow.com if you haven't already. But that's where you're going to see us. That's our website. But I think now, without further ado, we should bring on the man of the hour, the Lourdes and Chris Show in-house doctor of the quantum field, Dr. Grant.
Hello, Dr. Grant.
Dr. Grant, so good to see you. You look amazing as always.
You guys too. Thank you so much. Great to see you too.
And we're excited because we're coming to the end of the year. And so much is going on. People are out there shopping and getting gifts and so forth. And they're under a lot of stress, not just with shopping and trying to figure things out, but just in general with everything that's happening. So
for real, turn on the news. There's so much happening all at once all over the world. I mean, it feels like as the year was going on, it's like a snowball at the top of the hill, and it just got bigger and bigger as we're going down with just all the stuff that's been happening.
And especially with everything happening, you're great at this stuff, but when it comes to completing a year, especially with everything that's going on, I think the audience would love to know is like how to really stay focused, how to complete the year to bring into the the next year. So what would you suggest for someone with everything that's going on in this day in this world?
Clearly, questions to be asking our in-depth quantum field doctor,
Dr. Grant.
Dr. Grant.
Yeah. That's what I am, folks. I'm a specialist of morphic fields and quantum physics, and I'm a distance healer. So I'm talking to you from Thailand right now. So what they're asking is critically important. There's nothing more important than ending the year properly and then starting the year properly. There's no such thing as time. A circle is a continuum. However, we as a race of people, we decided on the beginning of a year and the ending of a year. And for the majority of the populace of the world, they all agree on the same time with Christmas and New Year's. So what's so special about that? It isn't only about Jesus and the religious side of it. It's also about a morphic field. Morphic field simply means whenever there's a collective. So you have the global population of the world all aligned about the ending of the year, celebrating, starting a new year. So that's a massive, powerful force field. If you join that field consciously and utilize it, it's like it can be like a transformer for you. So you have 10 volts going in, you got 10,000 volts coming out. If you use it right. Now, there's a lot of tricks to all of that, but let's go with some fundamentals. Always, number one, first and foremost, get out your pen and paper. And please use blue ink.
Oh.
And then you use, always use blue ink. And then you start off, the first thing you do is, we call it in India the Vastu, and in China they call it the Feng Shui. You take your home and you take your car, anything that where you reside and what you travel in, because those things are directly reflecting you. So you very ceremoniously organize it, clean it, remove all clutter, get out the garbage bags, go through all the paper, because you're cleaning you. That's a direct reflection of you. Next, on the paper, your number one thing to do is, there's a couple of things. One is always go through your mind carefully. What are your values? Without knowing your values, you have no basis for making plans, decisions, or anything else. Everything from your clothes, your business, your relationship, your body, everything. What is it that, try to get, say, 3 to 5 things that are values. Values are qualities.
Do you have an example? I'm just looking for, so someone can get an example of what that might sound like.
Yeah. Let's say one of your values for your home is that it always the air is filled with beautiful music.
Oh.
You're always playing some beautiful music, and it always smells lovely. And like in one of my values, the house must have lots of natural light. Lots of light. So those are values. So in order to have that, I will not allow myself to live in a place that's playing rap music. I'm not going to allow myself to play. If the place, that area of your life, whatever you're examining, does not align with your actual value system, you're in a state of compromise. Sure. If you're in a state of compromise, you have no power, you will not be happy, and everything goes south when you're compromised, right?
That makes sense, because if your room, for example, gets out of disarray, and you'd like to think that you're an organized person, and it's just like you feel it when the laundry starts to stack up, and you're just like, oh, that laundry, and it's just, you can actually feel a difference when it's not what your value, for example, like you said, is like, if paperwork is starting to pile up, or like if it gets too cluttery and you're like, I'm not a cluttery person, that's not who I am, you start to feel at odds with that.
That makes sense.
Yep, yeah, you bet. And see, if you get into a phase where it is cluttering up, that's when you look inside and you check yourself. Okay, what is the clutter in my mind right now? What's the clutter in my life? That is a representation. The clothes or the laundry is a representation of yourself. All it's doing is, the surround is a mirror, right? So you utilize the surround to organize yourself and also to talk to yourself. it'll always represent you. It'll
Okay.
always represent you.
I mean, that makes
Um,
sense.
Oh yeah, yeah. And I mean, they have literature now. I mean, that's accepted in psychological literature and everything. Because if your mind and everything is ordered and clear, you will not be able to tolerate a mess.
Hmm.
You can't. You can't do it. If you're like I was a concert cellist, I cannot. My value system and my frequency of me, I cannot be in a atmosphere where there's horrible noise. I can't do it.
That's the rap
So
problem.
it's yeah, that's one of my examples. I cannot leave the house looking like a bum. I have to shave. That's a those are like Tony Robbins will say standards. He'll use the word standards. He says if you want to change, you have to change your standards. You have to have. He's using different languaging, but it's the same thing. And
Okay.
see the Chinese and the India, India is the Vastu and China's Feng Shui. Your room, your every room. First of all, every single room has its own energy field.
Yes.
And every doorway is an electromagnetic field separating the one room from the other room.
Sure.
That's why I really like the old architecture where there are doorways to specific rooms. Like there's a doorway to the when the whole house is all open, it's a little bit different. I like separation because of the energy field. So each room, the energy field is either nurturing you or harming you.
Okay.
It's feeding you or it's draining you.
Yep.
So that's why the colors, smells, the arrangement of the furniture. Like for instance, if your front door if there's a line, a direct see through in from the front door of your room or house to a window, that's you'll lose money.
Right.
The wealth goes in the door and out the window. So you put a plant somewhere in the room, a plant between the window and the doorway. The ancient Chinese understood those kinds of things. The Feng Shui is about, I don't know, 2,000 years old history.
Yeah.
What they do, those guys actually design homes, physical structures. They're like, for instance, the pyramids and so forth. Those things are literally designed as a gigantic amplifier and an attractor field. They know the geophysical area plus the architecture, and then the colors, the fabrics, or the what things are made out of. All that is important. Now you can't change all of that for the general public, but the general idea is make everything beautiful and clean, so you feel ordered, uh, clear, and you're ready. Then
That's interesting
you're
because you often hear about when a woman is pregnant, she'll start what they call nesting.
Yeah.
And it's
right.
because they have an energy that's building within them, another life, and it's just they feel like they want to make ready for this new energy into their home.
Yep. You start
Yeah.
cleaning.
What do
you
you
start
do?
preparing. You do more than you would have never done, prior to the pregnancy, especially right before you give birth. I think it's like myself, right before, 3 months before I even gave birth, I was already preparing the crib and fixing everything to make sure everything was just right and spotless and clean. And you just do. It's nesting. It's something that there's an energy to that
Of
you can't
course.
explain, but it happens. Yep.
If you were going to go to a wedding and you just got out of bed and didn't brush your teeth and just threw on your pajamas, would you feel good going to the wedding?
Yeah.
No,
No.
of course not. Of course not. You're absolutely right. And to your point, Dr. Grant, that carries over into even mundane jobs. I mean, like For example, I've had jobs before where you have to wear the name badge and all this other stuff, and you have some guys who or coworkers who don't really want that job, don't care for that job, and they don't even try to present themselves well. And it's kind of a different energy. You can see it how they are towards their work reflects how they dress and how they're behaving. And and to your point, it's kind of funny, even on a personal level, like you said, you can't leave the house without shaving. It's not something that you do.
Well, and then
No way.
that alone is going to affect your performance. It's not, and it's not just your performance at work. You'll see like a spiral effect happening all around your life and your world because of the way you're being, even at the job.
Okay, on
That's
a side note,
exactly
Dr.
right.
Grant, for Christmas Day, did your family dress up for Christmas Day?
Well, yeah, because everyone's coming over.
Okay.
So the
All right.
family's coming over. So you wanna like if you respect somebody, do you like to look good? Like when we were joking before the show, and I said you look good, and you say that was the general idea. We wanted to look good.
We went for
Like
that.
for instance, when I'm in love with Oi, my girl here, I won't let Oi see me. How's she going to stay attracted to me if I don't look good?
No, you're right. I get sloppy around Lourdes. That's a good point. I never thought of that.
Yes, I was getting sloppy around.
I'm telling you, it didn't occur to me.
One of the ways
I like what you said. When you have a certain respect, I just think, when it comes to holidays, people dress up. You're not going to treat that day exactly as every other day. Then what's the point?
Okay, so I'll put you behind the curtain on this one just a little bit. My family growing up, well, we didn't receive family. First of all, it was different in Puerto Rico or even in Chicago when Lourdes was growing up. A traditional Puerto Rican Christmas is family goes to family, just like you said, Dr. Grant.
And you get dressed, you get the whole nine yards.
But for my family, it was like, meh, wear pajamas all day, snack whenever you can, that sort of thing. And so we approach these holidays in a different way because like on a holiday, I try to get quite relaxed and just, it's good, we're family, but Lourdes wants to get dressed up. In fact, this year she told me with no uncertain terms, I will get dressed up for Christmas.
We are going to.
I said, okay.
But this is because, we have my mom with us now, and that is what she's used to. She's used to you get dressed up to the nines.
Okay.
You have a plethora of food. You have music playing in the background. You're just having a good time with those that are around you.
So I am convinced I will dress up to the nines on Christmas Day. I will treat it like it's a special day.
Now, always remember, Chris. So you grew up that way.
Yes, I did.
Nothing wrong because you grew up that way. But what happens is, as adults now, honestly, do you feel good when you look real good?
Yeah. To your point.
Yeah.
To your point, I do.
It's like a psychology 101. If you like, it's just like smiling. If you want to feel happy, smile.
Yep.
You know how many? There's so many. I think it's something like 27 muscles in the face. When you smile, your brain actually releases endorphins instantly,
okay.
And it changes the. So all of these things are little tricks, eh? Now the other thing to what you said with the information overload. So you get yourself and your surround all clean and clear. You're identifying your values. That's what's going to go into the new year. Now, as far as information overload, number one, unplug yourself from regular media.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Only like, for instance, you have Lourdes and Chris. When they are presenting information, that is information you can trust. Unplug from any other normal media. It's all lies and garbage. And when I say, let me say that again, it's all lies and garbage. You cannot trust a single word. And they're using extremely sophisticated languages, and it's called cognitive warfare. And believe me, folks, I'm a specialist of consciousness. This stuff is way the hell over everybody's head. It's enormously sophisticated with flicker rates that are subconscious and everything. Just take yourself out of that arena and focus on, like Jim Rohn will say, work harder on yourself than on your job, because it's all feeding through you. So at this time now, from now till New Year, you got a critical time right now.
Okay.
Even in the universe, for about another 6 or 7 days, Earth is aligned right now to the galactic center on a particular plane. We're in a massively powerful galactic vortex of really positive, strong energy. All this stuff is a springboard. So you identify your values. Once you have your values, now you can set goals. Without your values, how are you gonna set a goal? What kind of goal? Is that goal going to make you happy, or are you going to, if you get that goal, are you going to be compromised?
I think
If you're compromised, you fail.
Yeah, I think you're saying something fairly profound here, because a lot of times someone will set a goal based on without getting their values in place first. And so what I mean by that, they'll say, "Oh, next 2023, I'm going to make $1 million," and it's just like, well, what is that? Where's your values with that? What does that mean to you? What are you willing to work for? What are you willing to do for that?
Why do you want it?
Yeah, why do you want it? What's your intention?
That's right. See, to have success, 3 things. One is the intent. And when you make your intent, try to always look long term. Short term can vanish very quickly, but long term, not so much. So you go long term, right? Next, you have to do the actual, take actual action. And 3, you need grace. As long as you get grace, your plans will have power. That's how I live. I have grace. How do you get grace? You make your bond with the divine. And how do you make a bond with the divine? You just appeal to them and talk to them and ask whomever, whatever your divine is, doesn't matter. The divine will be happy to meet you on your own. They'll completely meet you on your own terms. That's how the divine works. Okay. Always on your own terms. So you're in charge of that relationship, but always invoke it. Always, I teach all my clients all the time. How do I make my bond? The stronger the bond, everything flows. As long as you do your 20%, divine will do the rest of the 80. But you have to be clear. What do you want and why? And be honest. All of us, our desires are selfish driven. So just be aware of that. Even it's a beautiful altruistic design to help the world or to help whatever, but there is a desire in you that wants and needs to be satisfied, and that is correct, and that's proper, 100% proper, and it's supported entirely by the divine. So you're go ahead.
Sorry. So at this point, I'm unplugging from the news. I'm just not going to watch the news from now to the rest of the year. I'm going to get my values in place for my home. I'm going to get my house in order, essentially, just like you said, before the new year happens. Is there
and get rid of things you don't need.
But I guess, and that's a good point, because it kind of segues into what I'm trying to say. When you say get rid of things you don't need, that might be also like spiritual attachments, right? Like you let go of anger and all that. You want to get rid of all that before the new year, I would think.
That's what I do. I try to tell everybody, nothing is more important than detoxing the subconscious energy field of all the heaviness of this year. Whatever happened to you this year needs to be released. That's what I do. I do that with quantum. My system's called depth healing. It's a quantum physics method. And that's why every time I work on someone, the first words they say is, I feel very light, and even lightheaded. It's because I just took massive tons of heaviness off. So what Chris and Lourdes are both saying. So symbolically, get rid of old clothes, get rid of anything that you don't need or isn't serving you. And that includes ideas, philosophies, attitudes, anybody that isn't really supporting you in your life, that isn't really there for you, that's a fake friend, get rid of them. They're ball and chain, folks. My good friend Gene Hinman, years ago, when I moved to Thailand here, he's the one who got me off my ass and I moved. He taught me that don't carry all this unnecessary garbage. Just drop it. And then you'll feel so good going into 2023.
Now, I imagine this time of year you're probably crazy busy because of what you do. And so just real quick, if you could just let people know, because that's what you do. You kind of go into the quantum field and you assist them in releasing all that garbage. And of course, that's a perfect thing to do at this time of year before the new year starts. You don't want to carry that into the next year.
You don't want to bring any of that into the next year. You want the new year.
It's critical. Yes. It's critical because, like I was saying at the beginning, the Christmas to the New Year's Day, it's understood by the world. It's an ending and a beginning. So it's exactly perfect to release the negativity, the broken hearts. I heal broken hearts. If there's a relationship that's just shattered you to pieces, I do a thing called an energy exchange, and it's like I separate them, the people, and they just forget about each other as if nothing ever happened, as if they never knew each other. And it's good for both, and it heals everything. If somebody, I had a con man that ripped me off, fooled me completely. He's smarter than me. Release that. Any broken heart, release that. Release. So that's what I do, folks. And there's a lot of people, they have shedding, they're suffering. They've had people die because they got the jab and they're dead now. So they've had enormous loss and suffering that way. There are families that have been torn apart over Trump versus whoever the hell the other fool is, and all of that stuff. I heal all that.
Yeah,
I heal all that. That's what I do.
And of course, anybody that wants to get a complete quantum field cleaning and getting the subconscious cleaned and everything that's attached to them out of the way so they can start a new year, they can go to, was it depthhealing.org? Am I right?
That's right. You can just get a hold of me directly, right through the website, folks. And yeah, I have that's important. I do a show for you guys. It's live on Wednesday night for you on Instagram. If you watch that thing, it's like 45 minutes long. I give you $100 off if you schedule with me within 48 hours. You get $100 off the session. Yeah, I just try. I just want to try to give you a hand, and then I talk about a different theme each week to try to help people with their lives or understand. And you can ask me questions. It's interactive. You can ask me any question.
And that's on Instagram then.
Yeah. Every Wednesday night, and I do a different theme. And then on my website and in Facebook, Instagram, my admin Johnny, he posts that what the theme's going to be for that week.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, and it's good because they can go to Instagram and just look for Depth Healing, and they'll find you, or they can go to your actual website, which is depthhealing.org, so they can find you, contact you directly, set an appointment. Definitely watch your stuff every Wednesday, because I think it's important that almost daily we need to kind of cleanse from the day of and the day before.
Yes.
It's a good practice to get into at night. I know that I need to work on it some more but the nights that I do remember or I am conscious I'm got to get rid of what the day had, I do sleep better. It feels like it's a deeper sleep. It's a more restful sleep.
Hey, I have a teacher from Russia that's a tremendous healer, and she just taught me something that's worth its weight in gold. Let me share it with you. Just
Yes,
get just get your photograph, and Lourdes, you could do this for your mom, folks. You can do this for anybody. You get your photograph, and on the back of your photograph, you write your name, and under that, you write the present moment. You put it in a bowl, and you pour about a pound of salt on the
Oh,
photograph. And about every 3 to 5 days, change the salt. Honest to God, because I'm doing a special process through India, and I was experiencing unbelievable fatigue. I was just last few days, and it was unbelievable. And something was draining the energy from my kidneys. So she had me do that. Honest to God, within 1 hour, all my energy was restored, and I haven't been tired since.
huh.
It's unbelievable. I never heard of that in my whole life. And all you do is the picture, your name, the present moment, pour the salt on. It just draws your energy. If you any negativity, it just pulls it right out of there.
No,
And
So
then
now
you change
when
that
you mean
salt.
present moment, because I want to make sure I'm clear for the audience, when you mean present moment, what do they write about the present moment?
just present moment.
Nothing. You just
Just-
write the present moment. That's all.
Love that. Okay.
So it's operate. I guess it just operates on the present moment for you. And I mean, it's like I've been sharing it with my client. I just learned it about how long now? 2 days, 3 days ago. I couldn't even believe, and I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
No, and
but
it's brilliant for
powerful.
this time of year too. Like we're talking about towards the end of
Especially,
the year, especially right now. It's brilliant to
yeah.
do that, to
And,
clear all
and
that up.
I love that because it's like saying, look, you want to clear all, like you said, through the quantum field, you want to clear all those things out. And presently, when you're dealing with something, especially at night or during the day or anything, you're just taking your photo, you're writing your name, and then you're writing present moment. You put it in a cup or a bowl, and you fill it up with salt.
Lots of salt. Marina, my teacher, taught me. She had lots of salt. Any kind of salt, doesn't have to be Himalayan sea salt. Any kind of salt. I energy tested that. No problem.
Okay.
That's
I'm going to keep it mine all the time because
Yeah, I'm
the
doing that
nature
tonight.
of my work. I'm always working with folks that are either upset or hurt or something. So I have a certain amount of empathic kickback.
Sure.
And she taught me. I learned that the hard way. I didn't know it could drain me, but it does drain me. I got to make sure I stay on top of that.
The real challenge is I got to find a photo of myself, a recent photo.
I want to say, well, just in
Yeah,
general.
if you can. What I did was I had a passport photo.
That's a good idea.
Or your ID.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Yeah.
But that
makes sense
is
because
a
you're just
real.
getting it all cleared up. But it's a good thing to keep learning consistently, different things that one can actually do to clear the air, clear, as we say, or, your energy so that you can actually start fresh that, for the next day or for the next week or month or the new year. But that makes sense. It's like to really do that. It's amazing.
Now, with that notebook that we're writing our values in, is there anything else that we would put inside that notebook?
Okay, so first of all, that book is for your values.
Yes.
And then let's see to anything else. So what I would keep that in like a separate division, and then I'd take another one and I'd start. This is where we start looking for the new year. You know how everyone wants to make New Year's resolutions.
Sure.
Yes.
Something like 95% of all New Year's resolutions fails, and it fails because of cognitive dissonance. That's where I come in. So folks, cognitive dissonance just means actually tomorrow I'm being honored on a show called Perceptions Today out of England, and it's a live roundtable podcast, and I'm going to be discussing cognitive dissonance. So what cognitive dissonance means, folks, is you make a New Year's resolution, and let's say it's with your value system, but in your subconscious database, there's a belief there or a program from mom or dad or somebody that you recorded as a little child that says you can't do that.
Mhm.
That program in the subconscious has, this is a neurologic assessment. It has 1 million or more times more power than your New Year's resolution.
Wow.
That's very important. So the cognitive dissonance has got to be removed. So in the new year, you
So
said,
before
if
we
you
go into
set
the
up,
new year, because that'll be the next episode. So
Yeah.
you would suggest that in the ending of the year, they need to remove that, correct?
here's what I was just going to say. You go ahead. I mean, if you can get in to see me or something before there's not much time left now. But you go ahead. If you guys need me, you call me. I won't let you down. But what you would do is, if you do go into the year, and after 3 weeks to 3 months, your resolution drops, it fails, that's when you need to see me, and
Got it.
I'll remove it, because that's how
Okay.
you'll know that there's a problem. But what
Kind of a sneak peek for
you
next
want
week.
to do
Yeah.
in this month, what you want to do is you want to create the clarity, the picture, your values are set, you know where you want to be by the end of 2023, because at the beginning of 2023 is when you initiate that power.
Great.
Right now you're doing the cleaning, the assessing, the letting go. And also remember this, life is relationships. That's all it is. That's all life is. Life is relationship. Now, the new world order, may they all go to hell in the handbasket. Their entire agenda is to break all relationships,
Yeah.
to put you in isolation, to isolate family members, isolate everything. That's what they want to do. So in this, from now till the end, be with family, be with people you love, tell them you love them, open up your hearts with each other, take time for human interaction. And if they tell you that it's COVID, you just tell all that stuff to go to hell. That's all a lie and garbage. I'm going to say that in no uncertain terms. There's nothing to be afraid of. You just go ahead and be with the people you want to be with, that you love, and make sure they know you love them.
I love that.
I love that.
That's important. We're going into harder and harder and harder times, folks. It's imperative that we are all together.
I
That
agree.
we
I love
human
that.
relationship is essential. You know, the guys that survived Auschwitz,
Hmm.
if you check those survivors,
I mean,
you'll
I've heard them
find that
speak
they had
before.
someone, they had the hope of seeing someone who loved them, that
Love that.
their wife was still waiting for them, or whomever. That is what keeps them alive through
Yes,
all those atrocities.
that's
That's
right.
what keeps them alive.
And with
Yeah.
and with that thought, we're going to complete this episode and continue the next episode for the following week. Thank you guys for all watching. This is awesome.
So we'll see you in about a
Thank
week.
you.
It's the new year. And as always, we'll have Dr. Grant's links underneath of us, underneath the video here, so you can get a hold of him and get that set up as soon as possible, because times are ticking. So we'll be back in about a week. We'll see you then.
See you then.
The thing about having Dr. Grant on the show is the same thing as when you have a session with him. You feel so much lighter. You feel so much smarter.
Well, you get so much great information. You're like, oh, I didn't know that. Well, that's a great idea. You start jotting things down and kind of shift your life.
No, for sure, for sure. And it's always exciting to have Dr. Grant on. That's why we absolutely loved him. Now, remember, if you want to have a session with Dr. Grant, just go to depthhealing.org. That's the best and fastest way for you to get a hold of him and to get that set up. And you will not be sorry. It is truly, and without exaggerating, a
great experience. I mean,
great experience, phenomenal.
We're not the only ones that done it. I mean, we have friends who have done it, and they come back to us like, wow, that was great. I mean, the most amazing experience, and it does shift your life. So definitely check out healing.org. And I think you guys will see why we went and saw.
Yeah, and as I said at the front of the show, if you haven't gone onto the LourdesandChrisShow.com, you really should check us out over there. That's the official website of the Lourdes and Chris Show. So you can all of our former episodes, previous episodes, including the ones that some social networks don't want to,
Don't allow
us to air, is on there as well. And there are a few of those. And because sometimes we get a little bit controversial, I suppose, with what we're saying.
Which we should be able to.
We should have a controversial conversation. Absolutely. So go to the LourdesandChrisShow.com, sign up for that newsletter. And then while you're on there, take a look at the products that we use on a daily basis.
Yep. All the things that are on there, we actually have. We bought, we purchased, we use, and we put it on there because we love the results and we love what we, all of it.
We have actually had people send us samples of things and asked us to test it out, and we didn't like the results, or it just wasn't what we thought it would be, or we didn't see anything. And it just was like, well, we can't endorse that because that's not what we experience.
We endorse the highest of quality products and supplements and such because it's something we tried and we saw results with. So go on there so you can check out the stuff that if it's on our site, we have it and we use it on a daily basis. And we also have what we do, how we start our morning.
Absolutely.
So check it out.
So, and then if you go to the social media, we're all over the place there. You're smack dab all over social media. Can't get away from us. Reach out to us there as well. We do respond to questions or, comments saying hello. We say hello back. We absolutely love that. So we'll see you there.
And subscribe and follow and share with others.
Makes such a difference when you like, follow, and share our content. And because you don't know who needs to know the thing that you know. We say it every week because we absolutely mean that. And we will see you again in part 2 with Dr. Grant.
Yes.
And so this week we kind of covered what to do towards the end of the year.
How to complete the year.
Yeah, complete. That's a good way of saying it. And then with part 2, you're going to see how to start 2023 to just have the best year of your life. So that's what we're looking forward to. So we'll see you then in about a week. The Lourdes and Chris Show at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We absolutely love you. Merry Christmas, by the way.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever you celebrate, we just want you to have the best and most amazing that you've ever had.